What's up, good people? Welcome to the Bro Code Show. It's your boy, Mr. YM4C, aka Bro Troy, but better known as Coach TJ. And tonight is the first night of our two-part series where we'll be discussing the hustler spirit, the heart, the mindset, and the character of a true hustler. Now, tonight is sponsored by the Raleigh Firebirds, the pro basketball team right here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Shout out to my man, Wade Harris. He's owner of the Raleigh Firebirds, also a Raleigh Personal Training Center. Now, their regular season has already started. Now, we have the first two you will not be able to go to because of COVID, but right now you could go to all of the home games, which will be played at the Dream Center off of Fox Road in Raleigh, North Carolina. You could purchase tickets at firebirds.net or go to 919-830-0305. Now, if you've never had a Bro Code experience, Bro Code is a live talk show created to discuss, uncover, justify, dismantle the issues that concern us most as brothers, as family, and as a community. And we like to give that to you raw, uncut, and real respectful. Now, our greatest desire is to embrace everyone in positive, popular conversations. So no, we're not into belittling or bashing anyone, but we do believe in being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Why? Because that's where understanding starts. So as Grandma would say, let's chew the meat and spit out the bone. Now, we need some help. All those that are listening, all 5 or 4 of y'all, we appreciate y'all. Like, share right now. Help us build our Instagram page. Go to @BroCodeShow right now. Like, share. Keep this ripple effect going. And if you're on YouTube, we really appreciate y'all too, man. Go to YM4C TV, like, and subscribe. And if you want to leave comments, make sure that you allow StreamYard to see the comments. So that way we can shout you out. And we definitely want to hear from you. So, fellas, what's happening, man? It's been a long weekend. Been a beautiful weekend, though, man. Real beautiful weekend. On Friday, it rained a little bit. Helped me sleep a little bit. Felt good. JC, what you got, man?
Oh, man, I'm loving the weather. Loving the weather. It's been a real low-key weekend, to be honest, man. The week felt like it was going to take forever to get to the weekend. Now the weekend feels like it's just as long, but I'm glad for it. But, yeah, other than that, everything's good.
Indeed, indeed. Kurt, what's good, bro?
Hey, same thing, man. Really good weekend. It is very nice. Got outside, spent some time outside in nature. Really want to talk about DMX though.
Yeah, man.
It's true.
Yeah.
I grew up on his music, so I love his music. But what I didn't know, Troy, JC, I didn't know he was beloved like this for the culture. I mean, I knew people liked him, but I didn't know it was on that level.
Well, I agree with you on that. I think that, and if I can add context to that, man, I was looking at a video. This dude rocked Woodstock. Now, put a pause on that for a moment, just a moment. And I don't know if you guys actually had a chance to see this video. Obviously, there's so many of them going viral right now. And I agree with you too, man. I grew up on the music, man. The Dark Man. And he really, we look at the arts and music being one of them as an opportunity to tell your story. And he did live his life out in his music. You know, he was very transparent. We use that word so loosely, but there's so many lessons. That I just hope that what he went through and what he laid out and can help others. Like we can continue to use this as a springboard to continue to have these conversations because there's many of people, whether it's lived out on paper or in music, that are going through that.
One other thing. There was a song with him, Method Man, Nas, and Jay-Z. And I just thought about the context of where those other 3 men are in their career, in their lives, and how much just if you're in that dark place, how you can veer off and be in a different place based on your choices. So, really go, I don't know, man. I was in my feelings about it a little bit.
Yeah, it was called Grand Finale. What you got, Jay?
I mean, the part that gives me joy on that is he was ready. You know, they showed some interview that said, hey, if these are his last days, he lived a good life. And he certainly went through his share of ups and downs, dealing with all sorts of things. But the side that at least I knew of him or thought of him was one that was connected to God in a very special way. His relationship was unique, to say the least.
Indeed. And we joke about it, but he said God used a donkey. And he certainly was not compared to any type of ass, but when you see the ability to be used, man, he really stretches that and really gives you that tangible experience, man. So, much love to him and his family, man, and all those that were ever touched by his music, man. So tonight, man, we got some good conversations, some good guests, man. We definitely want to get into that. Tonight we got Morgan Cook. Now, Morgan and his team have mastered the ability to blend graffiti art with bold lines and bright colors in a way that mesmerizes all that see it. Now, he's the mastermind behind the Alphabet Project, which consists of several murals all around Raleigh, North Carolina and surrounding areas. Now, fellas, help us bring to the show my man, Morgan Cook. Morgan, what's good, brother? How you feeling? Uh-oh, we got one. Hold on. There it is. What's good, Morgan? How you feeling, man?
How's it going?
Hey, man, good to have you, brother. Good to have you, man. So
I'm happy to be here.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. So for the people listening, Morgan, man, who's Morgan Cook at the core?
Well, I'm pretty much just an artist. I've always been around a lot of different creative things and always making stuff. And I spent about 10 years as a martial artist and working on different businesses and doing different ideas and stuff like that. And then about 2 years ago, I started my career as an independent artist.
Okay, well, we're definitely going to dig a little deeper into that, man. I love it, man. We're certainly excited to have you. We also have Miss Lori Jones. Now, Lori is owner of Blackology Coffee, and she's also a master chef. Now, Lori is a food and beverage mastermind, and she now uses her unique skills to please the palates of those that she serves. Fellas, help me introduce to some and present to others Miss Lori Jones. Lori, what's going on, Lori? How you feeling today?
What's up? What's up? Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you could be here. You know, you run into all these pop-up shops, man. I am glad that you have fit in some time for the bro code. But for those who are listening, Lori, who may not know, man, who is Lori Jones at the core?
Well, Lori is a mom of two, a chef, a creative mind, owner of Blackology Coffee Company and Jonesy's LLC. Just kind of a free creative being, if you will.
I can dig it. I can definitely dig that. So, hey, man, I am glad you guys are here. We appreciate y'all. So, Bro Smith, man, let's chew the meat and spit out the bone.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, last week we had an amazing opportunity to speak with another entrepreneur, Ryan Ray, visionary. He founded Triangle Entrepreneur Leadership with a goal really of creating a culture of collaboration and network among entrepreneurs and really to educate through seminars, workshops, and conferences. He coined this year as the year of the Black entrepreneur. The work that he did, or does, I should say, to help educate, elevate, and highlight Black entrepreneurs creates a gateway and an opportunity to help individuals strengthen their entrepreneurial mindset. This month, I'm glad we get to dive a little bit more into that topic of the entrepreneurial mindset or that hustle. And why is it so important to have that mindset? Now, a mindset like this is really a set of skills that enables people to identify and make the most out of opportunities, overcome them and learn from setbacks and succeed in a variety of different settings. The biggest killer of that mindset may not be what you would expect. It's not failure, it's not economy, it's not bad ideas necessarily, but it's doubt. It's that doubt in ourselves, it's the doubt in our surroundings, our abilities that can kill many dreams long before any external factors come into play. Now, most people might even be afraid to start pursuing their dreams. Or if they do start, they turn back at the first sign of struggle, convinced that they may not have what it takes. Now, there are a ton of books, ton of lessons and seminars that can help one discover the entrepreneur inside and develop that strong mindset. Most of these books focus on attitude. To be a successful entrepreneur, you need to understand how an entrepreneur thinks and the habits of successful people. Zig Ziglar once said, success is 80% attitude and 20% aptitude. I'm excited that we have the opportunity to learn from more successful entrepreneurs today. And so with that, I want to learn a little bit more about you, Lori. Can you tell us a little bit more about your background? What started you on this journey with preparing fine cuisines and coffee? Like, where did it all come from?
Yeah, for sure. So cooking has been my thing since I was about 4 years old. My dad was actually kind of the culinary genius in our family. So I was always in the kitchen with him, kind of learning how to create things. My first job was at the Angus Barn, which I did an internship in high school. And that moment really was the moment that opened my eyes to, okay, there's a lot more to the culinary world than, you know, just, it's not just food, it's an experience. And you know, there's different calibers of experiences that you get at different restaurants and so on and so forth. Coffee, I was just a coffee addict, honestly. Like I was at Starbucks all the time. And you know, pairing flavors from sweets and coffee kind of is where I started, because I'm a sweet tooth kind of person. So the coffee is a nice balance and it's a nice pick me up. But yeah.
Well, Morgan, thank you for sharing that, Lori. Morgan, how about yourself? You know, tell us a little bit more about your background and how you gained a passion for graffiti art.
For sure. So like I said, I originally started off as a martial artist. I started practicing when I was around 4 years old. And then I eventually opened my own school when I was about 16. And that was while I was also in high school. So I was kind of pivoting between going to school during the day. I would leave school, go to the dojang. I lived in my dojang. I was like living on the floor in the back. And then I would go out and just paint graffiti at night. And that was kind of the routine, and it just developed and it got better. And then, you know, my adventures just took me all over the world and across the country. And I met up with other artists and, you know, gained like a reputation and just worked on a bunch of different projects, went through a lot of different crazy ups and downs, and like saw every single thing in between, you know, especially like trying to develop a lot mentally before finally now I've settled kind of here in Raleigh and launched the studio for about 2 years now. And things have been going pretty smooth from there. So starting as just an obsession in high school, because I have that kind of compulsive disorder to want to do something over and over and over and over again. And that was what was very attractive about graffiti. And now it's just matured into a studio practice. I hired people to help me manage my community events so I can focus on the commercial work. And I think things are perfect now. Yeah.
Wow. I love it. So perfect is good. Morgan, let's go a little bit deeper into MCK Creative LLC. You created this business, you said, about 2 years ago. Can you tell us, we know you're a graffiti artist, but can you tell us a little bit more about the services you provide?
Yeah, so we actually, because I am traditionally a graffiti artist, I like working in large scale with spray paint. So I specifically cater to clients that are looking to have large scale mural art that's higher end, that's kind of combined with their brand in different creative ways. So I wanted to come up with something that was a little more multifaceted than just hiring like this simple artist that you didn't really know and you didn't really have any trust in them, and their brand was kind of sketchy. It was just kind of, the user experience wasn't really smooth. So I wanted to come up with something that was a lot more friendly. So I diversified the platform between having custom work done, having private commissions, doing workshops, doing private courses, and also creating like online content to foster a community similar to what you guys are doing. And then also doing, you know, live painting and brand activation, stuff like that.
Wow, that's awesome. So you pretty much offer almost everything. Lori, Lori, would love to hear about Blackology Coffee. Now, you said a little bit earlier why coffee, but there's a difference in loving coffee, Lori, and then starting this thing called Blackology Coffee and making it for everybody. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So yeah, so Blackology Coffee Company, like I say, primarily for me, what it means for me is the study of Black coffee, so to speak. It's an experience for me. It's the way I relax, unwind, and enjoy life in general. But, you know, I created the name back in 2019 and everything was holding me back. Well, I was holding myself back. Fear, doubt, all of those things that JC mentioned before. And then the pandemic happened and I got laid off from my full-time job as a head chef at a UNC sorority house. And sitting there trying to figure out what my next move in life was going to be, like, God was definitely in it, because it came to me in the middle of the night. You know, Kirk, you know, you're my friend. You know, it literally was a thought one moment, and then it just, in a matter of a couple of days, just everything was just there. Just so creating an experience for others, letting Blackology be and mean whatever it is to whomever it means. For Black coffee lovers, it's a love of Black coffee or a study of Black coffee. For the Black Lives Matter crew, it was a way for them to express themselves. There were some that didn't want to be as bold during the Black Lives Matter protest, but they wanted to represent in some way. So that was some of the feedback that I had gotten on what it means to other people. And ultimately becoming the Black Starbucks is what the goal is. So
I'm right there with you. The Black Starbucks. I like it. We're going to coin that one. I love it, man. I've heard a whole lot. For those who are just checking in, we're talking with Lori Jones of Blackology Coffee Company, as well as Morgan Cook of MCK Creative, both just awesome entrepreneurs here in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. And just taking the time to talk about that tenacity. We've heard a lot, man, doubt, fear. And we know those are all things that can stop us from doing a lot of great things, right? And keep us in a box. So we want to go on a quick commercial break. So we got to pay the bills. We want to shout out to our sponsors, and you'll be right back here on the Bro Code Show. Much love to Dr. Kurt Whipple, man, one of our sponsors over at Raleigh Foot and Ankle. So we're back here on the Bro Code Show. We're talking with Morgan Cook and Lori Jones about the entrepreneurial mindset and the hustler spirit. So got to shout out the crowd real quick. What's up, Kim? How you doing? She said, hey, Lori. And of course, she said, hey to the fellas. She said, hey, CK. Shout out to Ruth. What up, Ruth? It's awesome, man. Black Starbucks. You like that, right? I'm telling you, we got to get that on right now. Just go ahead. Put that down. Write it down right now. Put a date on it, Lori. And what's up, Kate? Kate says, love Blackology Coffee Company, LLC. Lori Jones, you are a rock star. Yes, we share those same sentiments. Shout out to you, Kate. So we're going to switch gears real quick, ladies and gentlemen. And this question is for everybody. Everybody on the show. We even encourage those who are listening. Please chime in, drop it in the bottom, okay? So when we talk about entrepreneurs being equipped, we talked about some of the things that can hold us back. Let's talk about some of the empowerment things, right? So there's this dude named Batman, and we all know that Batman was nothing without his tool belt. Now, in the same regard, as an entrepreneur is only as good as the information that we seek, retain, and execute on. So for all those listening, for those on the show, what is one word or piece of advice that has helped you to sustain and thrive during your journey? What's one word or maybe a piece of advice that has helped you to sustain and thrive during your journey with entrepreneurship? So Morgan, hey, I hate to put you on your spot, but yeah, you on the Bro Code Show. So today
I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah, I would say the one word would be gratitude. 100%.
Gratitude. You want to layer that one, or we just gonna stick with gratitude?
Yeah,
I love the word.
I can layer that. Hey,
give me a layer, man. I need a layer.
Man. So gratitude basically being, I remember how much it just killed me when I was working as a server, or when I was working in like these random sales positions, or when I worked like just in weird little jobs that I was just trying to make enough money to pay my rent, but I wanted to be an artist. And I remember when I would be sitting there on break when it would be slow or something, and I would just hate that feeling of just, I knew I was capable of doing so much more, but I wasn't. And I was just kind of in this place. So it was both a revealing experience of things that I had to confront about myself that I had to change so that I could improve. And then it was also very freeing, because even though, as we all know, being an entrepreneur is quite the task, there's a lot that comes up with that you don't find in a normal job, but I'd rather suffer those things than the opposite. So I'm grateful that if I'm going to suffer for anything, I'm suffering for myself. And I know I have full control and responsibility over what I'm doing with my life at every given moment. And it's not determined by anybody else. And that was what was the most important for me.
I can dig it, man. I heard three things that really rung to me. Revealing, that's the sense of acknowledgement, right? That's a sense of consciousness. But revealing to acknowledgement equals freedom, right? Me and the fellas talk about it all the time, man, as far as self-awareness being the greatest gift. And being able to get that fulfilling feeling from something that you do, from your energy, your efforts, your anointings, man, that's really dope. I could dig that. Kirk, man, I saw you writing something down, Kirk. What you writing down over there, player?
Hey, man, so many. But my highest one, Troy, is literally that people are counting on me. So going back, over 20 years, man, a lot of the things I could not do certain things because it was about me. The moment I finally switched my mindset to remember that not just my family, but the kids that we mentor and coach and just people who silent watchers are counting on you to show up. And that's really been life-changing for me.
I can dig that. Accountability, heavy is the head that wears the crown, man. But you're right. I think, I can't remember. I think it was Dame. He said, man, we don't do this for our first name. We do it for our last. You know what I mean? This is legacy built. So I could dig that. Lori, I saw your head shaking now, Lori. Give me a gem, Lori. Give me a gem.
So the word that comes to mind is you. Meaning what, I work with a mentor named Mia, and between Mia and Kurt on this journey, everything that you need is already within you. You just have to go in and get it. Like it's there. It's all within you. You have all the tools that you need to succeed.
I could dig that, man. I could dig that. I know you got something, Jay. I mean, you're mulling over there, but what you got, Jay?
Yeah, for me, it's patience. You start endeavors, whether it's businesses or jobs or relationships, and you want everything to be at 100%. You want everything to produce some sort of result quickly, so that you're in your right lane and that you're moving in the direction that God would have you be led. And it takes really that patience when you run into those pitfalls, those failures, those moments of why am I doing this? To really sit back and reflect on your vision and let things kind of build and learn from some of those pain points. So patience would be my word.
I could dig that. For me, enthusiasm. In my earlier days, I mastered going door to door, and one of the words that always stuck out was enthusiasm. Jay-Z said it in a way that I'm a businessman. I'm a businessman, not a business. I'm a businessman, right? So it's in you, Laura. You hit on this, right? When it comes to it being inside of you. When I was doing it in sales, anything that I was presenting to someone was an extension of me, but they were really buying me. They were buying my energy. They were buying my belief system, what I stood in, my values. So along the way, I think one of the biggest things that I picked up at an early age was to have enthusiasm about anything that you do and you're passionate about. So, Lori, I'm curious. I read a quote that once said, "Stop being afraid of what could go wrong and start being excited about what could go right." Now, that's perspective, right? You know what I mean? But I'm curious, Larry, can you tell me about a time where that transition from being afraid to excited paid off for you in your business?
Yeah. So I'll start from the very beginning. Like I said, I got laid off from a job that I actually really, really loved. I loved those girls at the sorority house. I loved cooking for them. So I did go into a state of depression for a little bit. Because I didn't know what was coming next. We were in a pandemic. We couldn't go anywhere. Nobody was hiring. And, the transition from, I can't do it. I don't have the funding. I don't have this. I don't have this. Making up all of these excuses and finally just doing it. I mean, I didn't have ample supply of coffee on hand when I launched the business. I literally stepped out on faith because it was something that I love, that I'm passionate about, and everything that I needed was placed before me.
Good stuff. Good stuff. How about yourself, Morgan? Is there ever been a time, or can you speak of a time as far as that transition from being afraid to being excited really paid off for you and your business?
Yeah. I was homeless at one point, so that was a very grounding moment for me. And that is what also gave me a huge driving factor to push myself in my business. That combined with the combination of like losing a few very key like personal relationships to me, that kind of gave me like this little chip on my shoulder to like really push myself hard. And then to be at a place where like you're homeless, that was, you know, you have to do something about that. You can't just like sit there, you know. So that was the most there was definitely some fear in there, but now I wouldn't necessarily say that there's a fear, but it's more of like you're treading water and you see the cliff is like all the way over there, and you're not close to the cliff anymore, but you know that the cliff is still there, so it's still a possibility. So you gotta constantly be treading and moving forward.
Yeah, I could dig that, man. I once heard that courage is fear in motion.
Yeah.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
Well, Morgan, we're all glad you kept treading and kept swimming and picking up that pace. You know,
I appreciate that.
I wanted to dive a little bit into one of your passion projects called the Alphabet Project. You know, Troy, you may even have it, but let's show a brief news clip that was ran on ABC 11 about this project, and we'll be right back. Can't hear it, Troy.
Oh, might need to turn that on, huh? So Morgan, while I'm figuring that out, man, tell us more about the Alphabet Project, man. How did that come about?
Yeah. Oh, so honestly, I actually saw another artist doing something similar. I mean, there's been so many Alphabet projects. It's not, I'm definitely not the first person to do it. But the particular way that I went about executing it in the community was brand new. And that's what I thought was so exciting. And at the time, in the group of artists that I was working within, a lot of people were just like, you know, it's a dumb idea, like don't do it, like kind of advising me to go another way. But I just wanted to do something different. So I wanted to take, you know, my background in graffiti and then take my now present, like mature designer side and then kind of combine them together. So I took the illegibility out of the letter form, made it simple, but still painted it with spray paint. And then I made sure to focus all of the locations on people that were site specific, like Raleigh locals, and focus on the community that was already there rather than just going like directly corporate. So that in order to go find the mural, you had to engage with the community around you in order to see the art. But it's also like free and inclusive. You don't necessarily have to pay a fee or get a ticket to come to one of my shows in order to see the work. It's just out there on display. So it was just a way to get people to kind of go outside of your house and go see it, engage with your community, appreciate art for art, and not demonize like seeing somebody painting with spray paint, you know, like understand that there's more levels to it than just like some random nonsense on the wall.
I think that's a great point too, man. But before we move forward, because oftentimes when you hear the word graffiti, you know, you automatically think of tagging or, you know, potentially defacing property and doing it illegally, right?
Well,
and
that is the strong factor. It is, but there's the transition of like it maturing as an art form, but we still pay respect to like where it came from.
I love it, man. We're going to show a little bit of that art too, because you do something very special, man. And I think it's important that people understand. I may not have it in front of me, but for those that don't know, if you've ever ridden down Blunt Street and went past this thing called the Lincoln Theater, there's a huge E on the side of it. Well, the gentleman who did this is right in front of us. So we're going to show a little bit more about that as well. But Kurt, what you got, bro?
Thank you. So Lori, you kind of downplaying all this, right? You're downplaying, you're downplaying, and I need you to get excited because I saw it all happen, and so I really appreciate your moving around the kitchen. Though you're not just a cook, you're a true chef. Like, so we pulled up some pictures, and we want you to kind of give us a breakdown on what happened and how you got to what we're looking at in these pictures.
Now, this one right here, Lori, everybody knows that I have an inner fat boy. You talked about you having a sweet tooth. This one here, man. So this one right here, you have to let me know what heavenly things that you put together to make this happen. Talk us through this one.
So this is a banana pudding cake. The cake is a banana cake, got fresh bananas in it. The buttercream icing actually has banana flavored pudding mix in it. And I can't tell you all the other extras that are in it, but it's really good. It's very moist and it's one of the best sellers right now. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, you got two for me. I need that in my life. Not really, but I want one. Definitely want one.
Comes in cupcake form too. So it's less, you just get one.
Is there ever just one though?
No.
Lori, that made it worse. Like, Kirk, I think we got another one, don't we? I think we got another. Tell us about this one, Lori. Walk us through this. I looked at this on your Instagram page and I was just shocked. I was like, well, what is this?
So this is shrimp and grits.
Oh, wow.
This is an elevated version of shrimp and grits. It has sun-dried tomatoes, peppers, onions. I think I wound up adding chicken at the end because I was trying to do a lot of different things, and I think there might be some scallops in there too. I just see it. I like to. I don't follow recipes. I like to see what I have and create from what I have. So.
Well, I just had shrimp and grits this week. When we got to catch up as fellas. I wish I had your shrimp and grits. I won't say where I got it from, but just looking at the picture, I think it puts theirs to shame.
Much appreciated.
Definitely wonderful. If you guys are just checking into the Bro Code Show, we're talking with Lori Jones of Blackology Coffee, as well as Morgan Cook of MCK Creatives. We're talking about everything hustlers, the mind, the heart, the tenacity, the stick-activity, the enthusiasm. And we want to shift gears here just a little bit. Earlier we talked about the artwork of Morgan. And, there's a special piece that I saw on your Instagram page, Morgan. I want to bring it up, and I want you to walk us through, how this came about and, what it really means to you. So this was the piece that I saw. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out Morgan's artwork, please go to @art_of_MCK on Instagram. But I believe it says refuse to be silent. Tell us more about this project and how it came about, Morgan.
So that particular wall was, I worked on that restaurant concept with Lady Luck. I didn't do any of like the designing of the actual restaurant, but we did some more painting on the inside of there. And so that's how we kind of had that relationship. And I knew one of the owners through some previous projects that he had hired me for, but they basically came to me when all of the protests happened, and they had put up like those boards there, and they asked me to basically just come and paint that piece, and they wanted the phrase "refuse to be silent." So they just wanted me to come and like rock it out and make it abstract, and that was essentially the point of that one. But it was in a good location. I really enjoyed working with it. They're really good people, so I like to support people that are going to have the correct message, not just necessarily anything that's going to pay you. So that was important for me.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Jay, did you have something, brother?
Yeah, Morgan, a little follow-up. I like to paint and draw myself, man, but I've never really tried anything at that scale. Like, what are some of the challenges that you face when you're doing something that large? Like, is it just the elements you have to think about, or is it like what are some of the things that go through your mind when you're deciding to paint something to that degree?
Well, honestly, that's kind of small, like relative to some of the other stuff. But I think the challenges actually come in like scaling it down than necessarily going bigger, because painting with spray paint is really, really easy to paint big because of how large the strokes can be, and every stroke is my body length. So it's almost just like a dance or a workout in a way. So it's very free and flowing. And I feel like when I work with spray paint on a very small scale, where I'm trying to make something super, super tight on a small canvas, it's more challenging in that platform that way. But aside from that, on large scale, I would say in the summertime in North Carolina is horrible, because you'll be outside for 8 hours and you're just, I mean, I have so much sun damage like all over my shoulders and stuff from it, and you're just melting from all of the humidity. So, I mean, it's the inhaling the spray paint fumes, the weather. I mean, sometimes you have to like balance on a paint can to like reach this spot, and you're like hanging off the side of the wall to try to like catch this detail because like you couldn't rent a lift or something. Like it's always something random, like like this color, you know, like maybe like this was my main color for the outline, but then when I got to the wall, this can was just a defect can. So now like I have to just roll with the concept, like with what I have, you know. Day by day, it's always something different, you know.
I appreciate you sharing.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Lori. So, aha moments, and you've shared a couple of things that maybe could have been aha moments through your journey, but maybe one that you haven't shared that kind of has, you know, shine some light on an aha moment through your journey.
Let's see, an aha moment. Well, one, I thought everything was going to be cut and dry. Like it's going to flow this way. And I've had to pivot like every other week with different challenges that have come up. That's probably the aha moment, like being able to adapt. I've always been able to adapt. But when I did enter into this, I did have the mindset that, okay, it's going to go like this. I don't typically live a structured life. I'm Sagittarius, so I'm more spontaneous than anything else. But you know, in my mind, because I had written it down and it was going to be like this, it was like, no. The aha moment, it keeps coming. It happened today too. You know, you have to pivot with any situation. Like Morgan was talking about, like the can might not work, or you know, you have what you have, and there's beauty in what you have. If you can find the beauty that's in what you have, then there's your aha moment.
Thank you for that. Morgan, if you would, can you speak to the same thing, maybe an aha moment that you've had in your journey with business and entrepreneurship?
Oh yeah. So as a you know, to have a business, like coming from just being a graffiti artist to now like you're trying to run an agency, there's no blueprint because it's seldom been done. There's not a lot of people. There are some, and they're very successful, but everybody's path is kind of different. So just like Lori, every day is kind of a new moment. And I've noticed that with every project, there's another detail in the process that like I get a little bit better at, or there's a way that like I've figured something out to like work a little bit more efficiently, or it really all kind of happens day to day in the process. And the whole beauty of it is just in paying attention to what's happening like in your current moment, rather than like, oh, I didn't get all of these tasks done today, and then you kind of just get carried off someplace else. That's my aha moment.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm always reflecting, and one of the things that we always hear, ladies and gentlemen, is hindsight is 20/20, right? We or maybe this one, right? I wish I knew then what I knew now. You know, but if we could do a sense of reflection, I'd love to hear from everybody in the call, and even those that are listening. Please drop it in the chat. What advice would you give to your younger self, or potentially an entrepreneur that's just getting started? You know, if you could in that journal kind of do a little back to the future thing and prepare or equip, you know, your younger self, you know, what would you give back? So Lori, if you don't mind, I'd like to start with you.
Don't let other people dictate what you want. Like in deep down inside, you know exactly what you want. And we are so caught up in people pleasing that we are not doing ourselves a service. When I created the name Blackology, I was told it was a dumb idea and don't do it. And I did harp on that for a little bit. But for me, it's real, it's true. Like don't I know there's kids with parents and things like that, but as you get older, and you know you're old enough to do these things on your own, go for exactly what it is that you want. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do something. You know.
I can dig that. I can dig that. Go for it. How about yourself, Morgan? What do you think? If you can, I know you're not an old man, but if you can go back to that 16-year-old kid who started the dojo, what do you think?
I would tell him to, like, you know, two things. I would tell him to listen to his heart, because like Lori said, again, like you already know what you want and it's there, but it's a matter of if you're listening to it or if you're letting other people's voices like kind of tone it down. And I would also say that like purpose, find your purpose, but go out and try and taste like different things and see like what works for you, and then find your thing. Don't just try it once and then like, oh, it didn't work, and then now you're gonna have like this nihilistic attitude the rest of your life. Like, come on,
I can do that. What about you, Kurt? What you think, man? If you can go back to your younger self, man, or even an entrepreneur, what would you tell him?
So I would definitely say save money. So there was a time where I go back and you're trying to flex on people, right? I remember buying Guess and Jabot jeans, $100 jeans, right? So I'm making like $400-500 I'm going to the mall to buy a $100 pair of jeans to show off for our culture. I look back on that, man. I just spent so much money trying to prove who I was. Not smart at all. So definitely would change the way I viewed money and spent money.
I can dig that. What you think, Jay?
I would say, seek out mentors and really spend a good chunk of time figuring out what you do best and what you might want to do. As a child, I floundered a good bit, even in college, not really knowing what I wanted to do or study. And, so it took me a while to even come close to finding my spark. And I didn't spend a lot of time talking to people about careers and things that I should be pursuing. So I talk to my 14, 15-year-old self and say, hey man, let's try to focus on one thing, as opposed to just kind of living life.
I can dig that. Definitely can dig that, man. Now, you said something there, Jay, talking about a spark. And, Morgan, when you're using your creative arts and it's a visual, it's something that you can see. And I believe just like music, it can take you back to a special place. So it can bring on memories, just like looking at a picture or listening to a hook of a song. Earlier we talked about DMX and the influence that he's left, on the culture. And we know that part of hip hop, a pillar of hip hop, is graffiti, right? So, Bro Smith talked about a spark, and part of what we do, man, is sparking creative mindsets in young people, and we use opportunity and exposure as those avenues. They don't know what they don't know, and they'll be what they see. Now, Morgan, I did a little research, man. I want to play this clip, but outside of the things that you do in the public, you also do residential murals too. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I saw a mural that you did for a young man. I want to play this clip, and I want to just talk about that feeling, that spark that you give, and how you can use those gifts to inspire others. We'll be right back.
No way. Oh gosh. Look, it's someone's. That's. This is exactly what I wanted.
That is awesome.
It's like he's doing.
What's he doing? King flip?
Kick flip?
Here, Lou, go up it. You can touch it. Look it.
Wow. What? I like how the trees are like.
Yeah, it's like at sunset.
Wow.
And I want to show you the most special part. Look. Look at that. Whose name is that?
Leo and MCK.
How cool, because you helped, right?
Wow. You know, we talk about a special experience, man. Shout out to that kid too, man. I was like, man, made me call my mom. Like, yo, mom, I got a Bo Jackson poster. Like, you know, I appreciate my Bo Jackson poster, but when we talk about, I've heard before, it says a picture is worth 1,000 words, bro. You know, and when you have something like that, you know, how was that experience for you? Like, you've done murals from everywhere. Like, I really want you to talk about that and, you know, how that went for you.
So, you know, that all started because I just remember that feeling that I had, you know, as a kid. Like, the first time that I saw like graffiti on the side of a bridge or like a train, and I started noticing it. And like just the way that I would feel like my whole spirit light up, and I would just get so excited, and I wanted to know everything about it and how it got there. And I was just so obsessed with it. So part of that was I just decided I would use the platform today to try to reach, you know, those kids that were kind of like me, that like didn't necessarily have that opportunity or like couldn't have any access to it or any exposure or know anything about it at all. So I wanted to kind of make that connection between the two, to serve them that and then have them receive it in an authentic way, you know, rather than it just being like watered down or something.
Yeah. Wow. That's really dope, man. I can only imagine, right? Waking up every day to that. So JC, you look like you got something.
Not yet on this. I have something maybe for Lori. I kind of want to get back to the Blackology coffee thing. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of coffee personally, but what's something that I'm a Frappuccino guy. And I don't know if that counts quite as coffee, but you know, how do you appeal to folks like me and some of the things that and the products that you offer?
Well, I'm going to start with, we do focus on cultivating a love of Black coffee. So the first thing I do is I actually encourage folks to taste the coffee Black in its natural form, whether it's one sip or, you know, a couple of sips. But when I do pop-up shops, I do offer the Frappuccinos, the iced lattes, the lattes, something for everybody. You can't really be in coffee without doing things like that. So if you were to make maybe a cappuccino at home and you're not a coffee fan, I would say to go for something that maybe more like a breakfast blend, something that's not too intense. Breakfast blend is our best seller by far. I actually had a customer the other day compare it to a tea. Like it's very light, it's fruity. Somebody who didn't like coffee, I turned into a coffee drinker. So that was a proud moment.
Okay, well, there's hope for me. I might have to expand my palate a little bit. So I've never tasted it as you're indicating, just straight Black. I might give it a try. I will give it a try. I'll say that much. I will give it a try.
It's all in the method that you use too. So there's an education piece that we're slowly incorporating about how to brew a cup of coffee. A lot more folks are using pour over devices, and it is for a reason, because it makes coffee taste completely different than brewing in a household coffee maker.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm curious, Lori, what do you have going on now, and what do you have coming up next? Like what do we got brewing? You like that, right? All pun intended. You like that? That was good right there. You like that one? Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. So in the upcoming weeks, our next event is May the 1st. I'm still waiting on all the details for that. It's a pop-up shop with Current Wellness. But our family is moving from Briar Creek to Southeast Raleigh. Seems like all the things we're doing are in Southeast Raleigh. But we will be popping up at the Black Flea Market in the upcoming weeks. We also have a point of contact at the fairgrounds. So we'll be leveraging some of that. But it will be, we won't show up in the same capacity at every pop-up shop because there are some restrictions with things that we can do. So, but you'll always be able to sample coffee. You'll always be able to purchase apparel and bags of coffee. So
good stuff. Good stuff. What about yourself, Morgan? What do you guys got going on now, and what's upcoming?
We have about everything going on. I mean, if you can see the paper back here, there's like 100 different things written on it. But outside of the commercial work, I'm really excited about a project that we just launched probably only a day now. And that's going to be our community art mural workshop. And that's a partnership with Kane Realty and Midtown Events. And we're basically going to be converting a parking deck into a giant community mural over the course of, I want to say, about 16 weeks. And there's going to be individual workshops and art lessons held. And we're selling tickets through our Eventbrite that we have set up to kind of sponsor the whole thing. And yeah, that's the big one that we have going on. We also have your collaboration, Troy, where we're going to deck out your van. Really excited on that one. And then there's a bunch of other commercial ones that you guys can look out for. We're doing some stuff with Crabtree. We have some private homes. We have some gyms. We have a pizza place. It's exciting.
Good stuff, man. We can't glance over the whole van thing, right? So, indeed, this Saturday, man, we're trendsetters. And as trendsetters, we always dare to be different. We do differently. So with that being said, Y4C van will be Morganized, MCK'd, if you may. And we look forward to that, man. It's going to be a riding billboard. It's going to change the game. So, it's always a blessing, man, to get a chance to work together. We also look forward to working together on that project at North Hills. For those that don't know, please go to find out what this young man is doing. Sign up for the Eventbrite. Who wouldn't want to have a piece of their artwork on the side of a wall? Where now you have a place to take pictures and can tell people to take pictures. I did that. So indeed, man. So for those that don't know, we have Lori Jones of Blackology Coffee, master chef, the queen of the bean. Another one. And you write that one down. Another one. So the queen of the bean is in the building, and we got my man Morgan Cook. So you're talking with the Bro Code Show. We're talking everything entrepreneurial mindset and what it takes. Well, hold on. Stop the press. The queen of bean has an announcement. What you got?
I completely forgot. Starting May 18th through September the 28th, we will be in front of Wake Med Hospital doing pop-up every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
You heard it here first. So what were those dates again, Lori?
May 18th through September the 28th, Tuesdays only.
Tuesdays only. Please go support this young lady. Buy some coffee. We know we need it. What's that, breakfast blend?
Yeah.
Okay, go get that breakfast blend. So definitely appreciate you guys. Hey, Kirk, man, I saw your wheels turning. What, did you have something?
Oh, okay. I thought Lori was going to say something else. So, as we think about entrepreneurship and business in general, everything I heard today was about listening to following a process, hearing people's whys and their backstories. Morgan had a backstory of being homeless and climbing out of it. Lori had a backstory of losing her job during the pandemic and creating this coffee thing. And so as we listened, and then we heard all the words from creatives, accountability, faith, and gratitude, perseverance, and all the things that we need to build an amazing business. I just want to say shout out to both of you. I know both of you, and I'm very excited. Morgan, I've seen you. I pulled up on you downtown. I've seen your work. I've seen the level of craft that goes into it. Same thing with you, Lori. I've seen you, what you do, and how much work goes into what you do. So the Bro Code salutes both of you, and we just can't wait to see you in the future and all your work.
There it is. Well, for those that don't know, now you know. Lori Jones and Morgan Cook. Please go follow these great entrepreneurs doing great things in Raleigh and the surrounding areas. So please join us next week as we'll highlight and continue to highlight local entrepreneurs that are doing amazing things in business and within our community. We'll continue the conversation about the mind, spirit, and hustle of an entrepreneur and how those key components have helped our guests overcome and conquer their challenges. Next week, we'll have Miss Maggie Kane from A Place at the Table, as well as the big homie Reggie Winston from the Barber Shop. So set your alarm, Siri, Alexa, and Google Home. And next Sunday, April 18th at 6 p.m. live on our Facebook page, YM4C, or you can go to our YouTube channel at YM4C TV. So as always, man, always love and appreciate the bros, man. Love you guys like cook food, man. Another dope night. Thank you again to our guests for coming through. And for all those who listen, please like, share, keep the ripple effect going. Start the watch party now. And go subscribe to our Instagram at BroCode Show on the bottom of the screen, as well as a YouTube page at YM4C TV. Always, we got to leave you with some positive, man. This one's real simple, man. This is one where you think about the keyboard. We're on these all the time, and it says Control, Alt, and Delete. Control yourself, alter your thoughts, and delete negativity. As always, it's your boy, Bro Troy, a.k.a. Mr. YM4C, but better known as Coach TJ. And we are the Bro Code.